I've made more than my fair share of gaffes. What a goof may be my epitaph, but I find no disgrace, and I welcome, embrace, the occasion to let loose and laugh. I'm Heidi Marks Morris, and I started teaching high school in 1995. Despite nominal retirement in 2015, I've been in the classroom ever since. I'm writing a book about what I've learned in my career because I want to help others experience the connections and joy that I have found in successful teaching. It's called Teaching Matters, and you can sign up for news of it at my website, marksteachingmatters.com. The first day of school, for the first time, can be terrifying beyond all reason because there are so many unknowns for the first-year teacher on his or her first day of school. But as the years go by and first days become a bit more routine, you find yourself doing the same sorts of things year after year. And I have noticed that my first day of school routine has settled into a very clear trajectory. And one of my first goals for my class is to get them to laugh. I want them to laugh on the first day. And getting them to laugh is both difficult and rewarding. And that laughter that I begin on the first day plays a key role throughout the year. I'm going to talk a little bit about the first day laughter and the laughter throughout the year, and about laughter as a concept in academic learning for high schoolers. That first day, kids are nervous, they're keyed up, they are eager for social interaction, they are nervous about the unknowns, they are facing their senior year or their first year of high school or their first year as an upperclassman, whatever the marker is. And they go to period after period, and most teachers engage them in, here are the rules, here are the rules, here is the syllabus, here are the expectations, which is important. Kids should know what is expected of them. They should know what the year holds. But for me, I want them to leave class having laughed. Now, I'm the one up in front, and I'm generally wearing a red and white striped dress, which attracts a lot of attention, if not puzzlement. And I talk about myself. I am very open with random, strong opinions that I have. I talk about memories. I talk about hopes. I talk about my hatred of running and how I swore off running when I left high school PE. I talk about how much I love the number 4. And I look for an opportunity to interact with the kids in a way that shows them it's okay to laugh at me. As their teacher, I want them to respect me, yes, but I also want them to enjoy being in my class. And I want them to be willing to take risks, and I want them to feel at home. And a good laugh at your teacher's own expense, even at her behest, what a great way to set the tone for we're all welcome here. However, I never want them to laugh at one another. My second goal after get them to laugh at me is to get them to laugh with me, to share in mutual joy at some absurdity of life, or first days, or memories, or whatever. And finally, I want to get them to laugh at themselves, with me, as we build this community of learners. Laughter is a powerful unifier, sharing in a moment of humor that everyone enjoys leaves us all feeling better for the experience. And having that association with a class, that it's a place where I feel good, that's what I want. I love the days when students leave class saying, I am so glad I came to class today, or you make me want to come to school. There have been many occasions where I have made horrible gaffes. Just to share one great example, I've mentioned earlier that punctuality is a very important concept for me. Getting to class on time, turning assignments in on time, meeting deadlines, these are important, and by and large, kids accept and embrace those expectations. Well, I had a young lady arrive late to class one day. This young lady happened to be physically impaired, and she made her way about the halls with the use of a walker. Very unwieldy, very wide, very difficult to navigate through doorways. But that's part of who she was, and we all embraced her, and it didn't matter that she used this walker. Well, she came into class late one day, and immediately I asked her, "Why are you late?" And she said, "Well, my walker got stuck in the doorway." And I said, "That's a kind of lame excuse, don't you think?" And then I paused, horrified, as I realized that my unintentional pun was, in a way, ridiculing her physical condition. And oh my goodness, how the kids laughed at me and my discomfiture. And thankfully, she laughed along with us, and it was no big deal. But oh my goodness, what a horrifying moment. Laughter saved the day. Those moments of laughter I deliberately seek for, and if I can hit a common theme on the first day and come back to it again and again throughout the year, it builds a class sense of unity and identity. I was very happy this year, well actually this quadmester, as we had our 6th or 7th first day of school with meeting a new class virtually and trying to get the kids to engage online. Somehow we hit upon the very controversial topic of oatmeal cookies with or without raisins. This is a strongly divergent opinion for me and my husband. I believe strongly in the purity of oatmeal cookies unsullied by raisins. He believes strongly in the embellishment that raisins provide to cookies. He's even been known to stop visitors to our home on their first visit to interrogate them as to their raisin or no raisin preference. When I make oatmeal cookies for us, I bake them without raisins until there's only 1 or 2 batches worth of cookies left in the dough, and then I add the raisins and bake the last few, and then I put them on opposite sides of the cookie jar with polluted labeling the side with raisins. So I shared this with my class, and they began to lobby for the glory of raisins. A couple of young men in the comments were typing things like "raisins forever" and "long live the raisins" and raisins. And it was funny, and it was harmless, and it was a moment for all of the kids to laugh. And now we're halfway through the quadmester, and still, whenever anyone mentions raisins for whatever reason, we all enjoy a laugh because we share a memory and we share that lighthearted moment and we draw on it again and again. I think laughter is one of the keys to building that sense of a class where kids belong. My favorite moment of anger/ridicule from a colleague came in the middle of a class one day. I was in mid-sentence up in front of the class, and a colleague, he was the AP US history teacher, walked into my room, brandished his hand like this, and said, 4 times, it's a new record. Very angry, and stormed out, or at least stormed toward the door. And so I had to ask, Sir, 4 times what? That's my favorite number, but I don't understand why you're so angry. 4 times I was interrupted in mid-sentence today by your students shouting out, "Comp word!" And the whole class erupted into laughter because partly of his discomfiture, partly because of their sense of their own guilt, and partly in their joy at watching me just grin from ear to ear, because to me this meant they were paying close attention to their vocabulary lessons. And when they heard one of our class vocabulary words used, they raced to identify it. Comp word, comp word, comp word is a chorus that students still sing years after having my class, and I love it. This year has provided more than its share of anger and frustration and disappointment and setbacks and lots of opportunity for creative problem solving and flexibility and finding the silver lining. But all of those things, as wonderful as they are, can never replace the pure joy of laughter. And as I welcomed students, actual physical bodies with people in them, into my classroom this week and got them laughing for the first time, that for me was the real first day of school. Now the learning can take place because we are becoming fully human, engaged in the human endeavor of work, yes, and structure, yes, and content matter, yes, but laughter, oh, very yes.